too late, it's stuck. Okay, we're going with this. Hey everybody, Looks into Swirl here. New day, new cup project. Woo! I decided to try this new technique, new to me, off camera first, just to see how it might go. I had a sneaking suspicion that even though I've watched a whopping 2 videos from other people who have done this, that I was gonna have an issue or two just because it's so new to me. And I ended up with a beautiful cup. Absolutely gorgeous, but it does have flaws. It definitely has problems. And I have learned from doing this cup a little better on how to try the next cup. So that brings us to now. I am going to use a brush-on glue that dries tacky. So this is very much along the lines of Aleene's Tack It Over and Over, but this is a much thicker substance, and it's specifically made for the foils we are going to put on the cup. One thing I definitely learned from doing this method was, I think if you look at it closely, you can tell that I have used a naked cup to start. There is no spray paint layer underneath the foil. I didn't think it would matter because I thought I would get better coverage than this. Obviously I did not. And I think part of the reason I didn't get the good coverage is because the adhesive didn't adhere well, or as well as I hoped it would, to the naked stainless steel surface of the cup. So keeping that in mind, I have a spray painted cup this time. This is a 30-ounce skinny straight from Maker Flow. I have spray painted it matte black. I'm going to take my beautiful soft makeup brush and I'm going to apply this foil adhesive to the tumbler. This takes about an hour to dry, and I'm not going to rush it. I'm not going to put a heat gun on it or start working on the cup before this is fully dried. So I'm going to just brush this on, and I have to get that hair out of there. But I'm going to brush it on all over, try and get it as smooth and even as possible. Same basic ideas when you're putting Aleene's on. Come on, get off of there. And then when it dries, it will dry very tacky to the touch. I may even come back and put a second layer on. I'm not sure, but having really had trouble with the foil adhering to this one, I definitely want to make sure I have better adhesive coverage this time around. This one I applied the adhesive with a foam brush, and that is another reason I got the streaks I did, so that's why I'm using this brush this time. I want to avoid streaks, and then we get our bottoms. All right, like I said, I'm gonna let this dry for an hour. I will bring you back when it's ready to go, and we're back. Okay, I did end up putting 2 layers of Artsyville Embellishments foil adhesive. I got this from Artistic Painting Studio. I will link to everything below where I got the foils and the adhesive. Wonderful resource. And I have my cup, which is now very tacky. And I'm gonna put it down. My fall leaves are going, I want the top of the cup up here. So I'm going to put it down here. Actually, I'll start over here. It's easier. I'm just going to put it on there. This is a skinny straight, which makes rolling this a lot easier. And I'm just going to roll the cup along the foil, like that. There's more than enough. I have some overlap at the end, that's fine. Okay, so now I want to encourage the design it's actually on the back of the foil. So this side is just like a clear film. The foil itself is back here. It went against the adhesive on the cup, and now we want to convince all of the design to get onto the cup and off of the backing. You can use any soft cloth, really. I happen to have these little makeup things, so I'm just going to use this. But basically, I'm going to rub like the dickens all over the surface area. I just want every speck of foil to touch and then get stuck on the adhesive that I just put on the cup. We're going to burnish. This is a lot like the tack it method in essence. We will deal with the rims in a little more detail in a moment. I'm just going to do this all over the cup to make sure I get everywhere. All right, now I'll make sure I get them around the rim. So I'm going to do a little extra burnishing around the edge here, the top rim. I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom. I don't have enough foil. I didn't leave enough when I cut this piece off to do the entire bottom, because I can cut this off and I can use that on the bottom. So why didn't I do that? I'm sure there are, I don't know, more efficient ways of doing this. Again, I am relatively new to this being my second cup I've foiled. As I do this more, I will learn more. Oh, see, I don't want to get that on there. Well, that was a mistake. Oh, it's got fur on it. Dadgummit. All right. Yeah, you don't want a linty cloth when you're doing this. It's all right. I'm not going to worry about it. I am absolutely not going to worry about it. I'll go ahead and deal with this the way I would have anyway. Do a couple. And you know, there will be some lint involved, and I'll just deal with it. Not worth getting upset about. All right. Now we're gonna rub this down the same way. Convince it all to give up its pattern of foil onto the cup. Stick to the adhesive. I can even use this again now that there's no stickum showing. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do, even if this seems like overkill, I'm going to do it anyway. This goes back to the first video I saw. I will link to both videos below. I've only seen two using this product on a tumbler. One is called Mama Jama's, I think. This is the only video on their channel, is her using this foil and this adhesive on a tumbler, and she gets it to work on a 30-ounce modern curve, which is really bold given the curve issue. I didn't even want to deal with that just yet. But she's the one who does the brush. First she goes over it with a cloth, and then she goes over it with a soft brush. Just, you know, one last chance to get it to stick to the cup, basically. So I'm gonna do the same thing because it worked really well for her. As I do more of these and I discover what I need to do and maybe don't need to do every time, I'll keep you informed. If any of you have done this and I just happen to miss your video, or you don't have a channel, but you've done this and you have some tips and tricks, please put them below for everyone's benefit, including mine. All right, the moment of truth. Well, let's start with the bottom since we're here. Yes. Aside from my furry bit, which I'll deal with later. Okay, now the big part. Let's see how the rest of the cup looks. If some parts stay on the backing paper, you can press them back down and try to continue convincing them to stay. They may or may not agree with you. Another option, if you have a big chunk of area where the foil didn't stick, is you can actually add some more adhesive right to that spot, let it dry, so it's just tacky, and then put a bit of unused foil against that. Wow. There's very little left on the backing paper. It is now all on our tumbler. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, let's see if I can do what I just talked about. Some of our leftover scraps here. It may be that there's not enough adhesive there, or it may work. Yeah. And this spot also. Let's see, what's the best way to clean that up? With another furry linty thing. Probably not the greatest idea, but we'll give this a shot. Squirt it with a little alcohol. See if I can convince this to come up. There we go. There we go. Okay, rather than doing some more of this and waiting another hour, I wonder I can put just a tiny bit of Aleene's, tack it over and over on here. Spread that out. Let it dry for 15-20 minutes and we'll see what happens. It may work, it may not. Do a little here too, since I've got it on my finger. Let's see if we can fix our little bit of a seam issue. All right, we'll let those two spots dry. We'll come back and we'll try using some of our leftover again to fix those two spots. Yay, it worked. Okay, fixed one problem area. Ta-da! Yay! We're in business. Now, I did not seal the last cup I did with this one. I went straight to resin. It did give me some fish eyes in a couple places, so because of that, I think I will take this one out on the deck and spray it with matte clear paint, and then I will put some resin on it. Second cup is encased in resin, and I learned something new, and that is to not seal the foils once they're on the cup with a matte clear spray, because I'm hoping you can see this on camera. This looks nice. The surface of the resin is nice and clear and shiny, but look at how much of the sparkle has completely disappeared. This cup now looks like it's wrapped in colored foil. Just plain old non-sparkly colored foil. It's pretty. This is the actual foil. This cup should look like this is all over it. See the difference? I mean, it's dramatic. This is pretty. This would be stunning. The other thing that happened, because I put a sealer on it, aside from some places where the foil didn't stick onto the adhesive, there are now all sorts of little cracks running through this. I have this same issue when I do the temporary tattoo tumblers, the Nightmare Before Christmas tumblers. When I spray a matte clear sealer on the tattoo, once it's on the tumbler, and I put it out in the sun, the matte spray dries so quickly it causes the tattoo to crack. And it did the exact same thing with these foils. So for those reasons, I am not going to use matte clear spray on this foil anymore ever again. I may get a few more fish eyes if I go straight to resin after putting the foil on, but I will end up with a much nicer looking cup. And in order to continue this video and show you the best result I can get, at least for this video, we are going to do a third cup. I have just enough of this foil left to do a third smaller cup. So now it's time to test this out and see how we do. So here is my remaining piece of foil. I am going to put this. Oh, no, not yet, not yet. Hang on. It's a little excited. I want to make sure I get the rim, both ends of the rim. Oh, that's not going to work either. No, too late. It's stuck. Okay, we're going with this. The adhesive's certainly sticky. No doubt about that. Okay, here we go. It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's all fine. I'm gonna cut off my extra. We may need it because I didn't wrap that very well. Okay, so this time instead of burnishing with a cloth, I'm gonna start by rubbing it with my fingers. We'll see if I can make it really happy. Rub and rub and rub and rub and see what happens. All right. Well, just because I have this here and I want to give it the best shot. Let's see how it went. It doesn't suck. I also did it upside down, but at this point, you know what? I'm past caring. the bottom. We shall address the bottom. Hello, bottom. I know, I've used that joke already, I'm sorry. Cool beans. I'm liking this stuff more and more as I get used to what all is necessary. Can I make this better? Yes. That is pretty good. Now the next test, I am not going to seal it. I'm going to go straight to resin with this. Somebody commented that this was kind of a crappy foil, and not the foil itself, but the pattern. And I agree. However, I'm glad I picked this one to test with because I had just enough to do 3 cups. We're able to compare like to like to like. So this was the first one where I didn't get particularly good coverage because I didn't apply the adhesive very well. This is the second one where I got better coverage, but then I sprayed it with a sealer and I lost the holographic effect, and I also caused cracking. Using both the things I learned there, I ended up here where I got better coverage and I kept my holographic effect. I think this is actually quite pretty. These are fall colors. It is autumn leaves of a sort. So I'm going back to my graphics collection that's called Hello Thanksmas, and I really like the little pony. This is the Nito brand. I suspect I'll be doing this in bits. I am not going to worry about the tiny little snowflakes and everything that are around it. I'm just going for the main graphic. Here we go. I do have a new Cricut blade in, so maybe I won't struggle quite as much with this one as I have been lately with some of the others. Sticking out, but it's fine. Everything's fine. We're just gonna go with this guy. He's cutie. All right. Hey folks, one last thing. Now that I think I'm getting okay at using the foils and understanding how they work and how to get them on a cup, how to have it look pretty good. So I wanted to show you the other foils I have. I want you to help me pick the next cup I'm gonna do. So I will show you what there is. There's this beautiful rainbow stripe. There is this, which is a silver holographic. There is this that we're gonna call aqua daisies. We'll call it that. So aqua daisies. And there is holographic stripes. And then there is holographic shards. So I will list these below, like I just named them here. Would you please put in the comments section which one you want me to try next on a cup? And I will also put a poll in the community tab with these same foils listed. And if you would go there and vote, that would help. Okay. Ta-da! I'm going to cover all the pieces of vinyl right here with a thin layer of UV resin, stick it out in the sunshine, which we do actually have today. Then I will put a final layer of resin, epoxy resin, over the whole thing, and I will absolutely include some Marabou Rainbow alcohol ink, so this little guy sparkles as well as everything behind him. Okay, so the next time you see this cup, it should be the big reveal. Here we go.